everyone, this is FantasyEsque, and welcome back to the Sims 4 Vampire Amazon Roller Saga with the Salazar Coven. We are picking up with Lagatha and Meredith Dravage, our twins who aged up into teens in the previous episode. Now they have been quite determined from the onset to grow their vampiric powers, do training, and really hone in their skills, prove themselves as true vampires, through their effort rather than the way they look. And yet, you will notice that they have become quite at home with their dark forms. They have been spending time in this new kind of dark self of theirs, because it looks like the vampires that have pure blood, right? It looks like something that the others would respect. It's an appearance that they have been wanting for a very long time, from when they were their kids. Like, their childhoods would have been so much easier if they had looked like this from the get-go. But it's only a side of themselves that they were able to access once they became teens and they had some of that vampiric power flowing through them. So I'm excited to dive in, focus on these girls, and see what they get up to, see how much training we can do with them. But in the movie, we saw that both Lagatha and Meredith, they were going ahead and trying to practice their powers on their own, and there was definitely a distinction in the way they were able to do that. So it seems as though for Lagatha, calling forth her power came forward quite easily, whereas for Meredith, it took her a lot more effort, and I feel like Meredith is definitely the more desperate one out of the two. I feel like Lagatha is way more at peace with herself, whereas Meredith, she's a bit softer emotionally, and I feel like she relies on acceptance a lot more, and she gets that from her sister, so she's able to keep strong. But I feel like if Meredith were an only child and Lagatha wasn't there, she would have broken down a long time ago. I just feel like she's soft like that. But we had Lagatha then suggest that maybe they should go to the champion, Lady Saphira, because, she's one of their aunts. They should go to her for some training, and plus, now that they're older, she is not obligated to, but it would make sense for her to guide the youngsters in training as champion. But she outright rejected them. She said no, she was not in the mood. She didn't want to entertain fledglings and such. So they kind of had to leave her and find someone else. And so both of them went to Queen Aphrodite to request that she offer them some training. And Aphrodite is the highest ranking vampire in the coven. She is a master. So the queen, obviously wasn't too pleased about it, but she said that she would train one of them, and they had to decide amongst themselves who would get trained. Now, Lagatha knows how much Meredith wants it, and she also knows Meredith is having a harder time practicing her vampiric powers and skills, so she figured it would be better for her to have the higher ranking mentor, and she said, my sister, train her, if you will. So Meredith received training from Aphrodite, and that, of course, left, I don't know who this is, but that left Lagatha without a mentor. So, it was taking them a lot of effort. They were being quite unlucky with this for one reason or another. Nobody was wanting to train them. And then Lagatha thought, well, we failed as one aunt. Let me go and ask the other aunt. So she approached Galaxia for some training. Galaxia was kind of just resting a little bit. She said she didn't feel too well. And I don't know if that's because she actually didn't feel too well, or if she didn't really, she wasn't too enthused by the idea of training them. I think probably she just didn't feel too well. But she saw how enthusiastic Lagatha was, and she thought, well, I feel like she should be rewarded for wanting to try, right? So she agreed to teach her the basics, and as she was teaching Lagatha, she did comment on the fact that Lagatha seems to be quite talented with her vampiric powers. So I thought that was a pretty interesting dynamic, that the twin who wants it less is the one who is able to do it more. And Meredith, who is more desperate for acceptance, she's the one having a harder time honing her skills. But hopefully, this kind of situation improves itself. But I definitely want to focus in on that. And I'm not sure if people are... I wonder if the others look down on them a little bit for trying too hard and being in their dark forms all the time. But I reckon if the Dravage twins kind of stick it out, people will just get used to this appearance of them, and they'll probably start accepting it. So it's kind of interesting. I definitely feel like they're going to spend more time in their dark forms than in their normal forms. Right, another thing we had is that Meredith, she had this curse. I think with Lagatha, she has this uncontrollable laughter curse, so she keeps doing that, and she makes people around her laugh as well. With Meredith, she has the stench. So I feel as though Sophia is going to have to fix that. And she has acquired a curse cleansing potion. So I'm actually going to have her give it to Meredith. I feel like Meredith needs it more, like her curse is worse. So let's go ahead, and I'm actually just going to transfer it to her. We'll give her this curse cleansing potion, and she's going to deal with her needs. Thank flippin' goodness. There we go. Let's deal with our needs. And now, you don't have to worry as much about that, but you definitely want to take a bath. So, let's take, you know what? Go take a soak. Let's go take a soak. But the cool thing is that she's now impressed by someone nearby. So that's really cool. And I think that is, was that Aphrodite? Makes sense, right? Aphrodite did train her. Yes, she's impressed by Aphrodite. She's quite impressed by her. She seems very skillful. She was the first vampire to kind of teach her anything, so she definitely is fond of Aphrodite. And, actually, if we look at their relationships, I feel like we should do this. We should look at their relationships now that they're older to see maybe how they've been adjusting. So it looks as though with Lagatha, I mean, she's really close to Meredith. We see that. And I wonder if this difference in their skill level, or like the fact that Lagatha's talented and Meredith maybe isn't so much, if that's going to cause a rift between them in the future. Like, you know, desperation is going to lead to rivalry. I hope not, but we'll see. Lagatha, she's friends with Elena and Catherine. They're cousins, of course, so that makes sense. Galaxia seems fond of them. This is so weird, because Saphira seems more fond of them than Galaxia. At least Lagatha. Saphira is more fond... Yeah, Saphira is literally more fond of Lagatha than Aphrodite and Galaxia. And her cousins. And the princesses. Oh, that's kind of cool. Lagatha somehow has managed to become friends with both princesses. So that's fascinating. But, you know what? She was probably just in a cranky mood. Yeah. I think she was just training a lot. And she was... That's the thing with Saphira. She gets angry a lot. Very frequently. So she's not in a good mood. And just generally, I feel like it's a very rare thing to be able to... I wonder how the princess's training is going to go. But I feel like it's a very rare thing to convince the champion to train you because she's so cranky all the time. And I feel like the youngsters would be scared of her, scared to ask her, because it's kind of a known thing. She's probably going to say no. But that's kind of fascinating. So I guess she was in a cranky mood. And she was unable to come and she just didn't have time for them. So that kind of failed. And Aphrodite, you know, she ended up training Meredith. But Galaxia, she does like her nieces, and she was feeling unwell, but, you know, in the end she decided to train her anyway, so that was good. But that's kind of fascinating. See, Lagatha, she gets along well with most everyone. Even Sophia, she has a positive relationship with. Eden and Guinevere, they've got a friendship going on. Eden, of course, probably because Eden is nice. Guinevere, probably because she's two-faced, and Lagatha just is never bothered to fight her. She kind of maintains this farce that they're getting along fine. Interesting. And then with Meredith, we know she doesn't like Sophia. She seems closer to her cousins than her sister is, but she's like very, very close to Lagatha. Seems as though her training session with Queen Aphrodite worked out well, because now she's quite close to Aphrodite. And then she's also friends with Yuki, Galaxia, Saphira, and Princess Eden. Obviously not Guinevere. We know that. Guinevere really picks on Meredith, I feel, because Meredith is the weaker one. And a lot of what she says... I mean, she says it to both the Dravage twins, but I feel like it's mainly aimed at Meredith, because Meredith kind of reacts to it a lot more. And Lagatha is not friends with Yuki at all, but Meredith is. Anyways, that's kind of fascinating to see those dynamics, and we'll see how it changes, you know. the older they get. But oh look, Lagatha she's swimming down here. She's come down for a swim. That's kind of nice. You know what? Why don't we get the princesses to come swim as well? I mean, the princesses, this is so cute. They're like chatting to each other here. Actually, the youngsters have homework as well, which they haven't really done. So maybe they should go do that. Oh no, don't add to favorites. Don't add to favorites. Okay, looks as though well, look at that. The dragons, they've been doing their homework. But the princesses haven't been. And really, they should. I was gonna say maybe the princesses can go down and swim with the queen. Like, they can spend some time swimming here. But they have homework to do, so it makes more sense that they would do that. Maybe once they're done with homework, then they can come down for a swim. We'll do that. We'll send them down for a swim once they finish their homework. I feel like that would be nice for them to have some fun and relax a little bit. Although, they might be hungry by that point. What's Galaxia doing? Let's get Galaxia to cook something up so that if they're hungry, they can eat that maybe after a swim. We'll do that. I have to be on top of this food situation a lot more now. So, definitely trying my best in that regard. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look. I kind of want to make... I feel like the onigiri would be fun. So maybe we should make a party size of that. So let's get Galaxia to cook. So we'll do that. I keep forgetting that Catherine and Elaine are Galaxia's kids because, like, they look so different. They look like their father a lot, like so much like their father, Peyton Dentalopa. So I get confused, but, you know, they're there. Okay, is that Meredith giving herself a pep talk? Oh, Meredith. You know what? Yeah, she's practicing talking to the other vampires. And also, like, you know, I think she's trying to practice, like, how she would respond to certain things and whatnot. She's trying to make herself mentally strong, which is really good. Really good of her. But I also feel like she loves this new form. Probably more than Lagatha does. I feel like she's really attached to this self of hers. Okay, we're done with the food. Excellent. Now everyone can eat as they will. And the kids... You know what? Let's actually grab a serving of the food. And then we'll take you down to swim. Oh, you were swimming already! Oh, they finished swimming? Don't worry, I'll send you back down. Let's eat some, and then come back down to swim. But I definitely want these guys to do some meditation. So, like, Meredith, she's gonna do some dark meditation. There we go. They're gonna be trying to hone their skills as much as possible, whenever possible. I don't think they want to wait around much. And focus on other things. Really, they don't really have much else to do in the Coven, right? This is like their sole purpose right now. So they're definitely going to be doing that, and so is Lagatha. Whenever possible, I feel like she's going to be trying to hone her skills. And then, you know, getting mentoring from everyone whenever possible. And I don't think they'll stick with one mentor. They'll probably, like, shift things around when possible. What's wrong with this? Replace that. Replace that. But I definitely think, let's see if, you know, Saphira will consent to maybe training you this time around. Lagatha is going to try again. She's having this uncontrollable laughter. But she's going to try to approach Saphira again. I mean, Saphira is in, like, a child-free zone. You know, she's been relaxing. She feels energized. She feels pretty good. So, Lagatha might have a good chance at getting Saphira to train her. So, let's get it down to see how she does. We'll get it down to see how she does. Maybe she'll have better luck this time. I'm so curious about how the hell the princess, like... But then again, for, like, this situation, I feel like the youngsters are seeking Saphira out, whereas with the princesses, when they come of age, Saphira is the one who's going to be you know, chasing up the princesses for their training. But yes, it is almost Guinevere and Eden's birthdays, so that'll be coming up soon as well. Okay. Yep, did she say yes? Oh, nice! She agreed to do some training. Lagatha, honey, you have lucked out. And that actually makes the most sense for Lagatha because she's actually the closest to Saphira. Like, out of Meredith. Aside from Meredith. Like, the next person she's closest to is Saphira. Which is so odd, and I don't know how she managed to do that, but Lagatha, if you did, you are so flippin' skilled. Because Saphira doesn't like kids, and yet somehow you have managed to win her over. You know what? Maybe Saphira approves of how hard Lagatha tries and how much she keeps up with her efforts. Like, she doesn't really give in to her circumstances. And maybe that reminds Saphira a little bit of herself because, you know, she was given to the champion as an apprentice and made champion against her will. She really didn't want to. She would have rather followed the priestess path. But at one point, she kind of just flipped a switch and she decided that she would do it to the best of her ability, even though it's like she hated it. And maybe she sees a bit of that in Lagatha, like Lagatha's trying to be something different from what she is. And she doesn't let what anyone else tells her discourage her efforts, and Saphira probably admires that. So, congratulations! You got some time from Saphira. That's a big deal. Okay, Meredith is definitely going to go back to Aphrodite. I feel like she's comfortable requesting training from Aphrodite because Aphrodite's already said yes to her once. And actually she is the closest to Aphrodite after Lagatha. So I think she would feel comfortable just going to Aphrodite and asking for training. So, and the queen I feel like is in a good mood like most times. So let's go ahead and get some training from the queen as well. Now Lagatha, with the skill points you have, you still need to collect up a few more skill points. But Meredith, I wonder if they'll always stay on par with each other. I feel like if they are on par, it's because Meredith like puts effort in and she really tries, even though it comes easier to Lagatha. But I wonder if they'll always stay on par, or if one of them will, you know, like go surpass the other. That would be fascinating, actually. Okay, here we go. Training time. Training time. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, Saphira doesn't even feel the least bit bad. She doesn't feel... I feel like she's not one to give out compliments. I don't feel like she gives out very many compliments at all. But her agreeing to do something for you is probably the biggest compliment you can get from Saphira. And she definitely was never like this. She was not like this when she was younger. Right? She was kind of like a doer. She was a goofball. She was playful. She wasn't like the aggro, scary self that she is now, but her role has turned her into this. And I feel like maybe when Lagatha keeps trying to build a relationship, sometimes she manages to access that playful part of Saphira that Saphira had as a child. And she probably connects with that. Where she appeals to that side of Saphira, even though it is no longer a dominant side of her. So it's kind of fascinating how we've seen the transformation of Saphira over the years. Okay, Meredith. Look at Meredith! She's like training on her own, and I haven't even told her to do anything. Lagatha, I mean, she was swimming, so, you know, she's trying to in her own way. Okay, replace this. I don't know what the heck's going on here. Now, the princesses, they have eaten, so actually, I'm gonna get them to do a bit of swimming. It's gonna get their fun up. Let's swim laps. Let's get you to swim laps. Yeah, let's just get them to have a bit of fun, I think. They should enjoy themselves. I mean, we didn't get to see it because I did it off camera, but we had training day, I think, before the last episode, And essentially, like, all the kids were down here swimming laps, and that was, like, their training. So it was kind of cool to see everyone in the pool. The adults, they were, you know, boxing and such, and sparring in the training room, the training chamber, but all the youngsters, they were actually swimming in the pool down here, so that was kind of fun to see, because we don't really see them at all together much. So that was interesting. Okay, Lady Sophia's coming on down. I wonder if she wants to swim. You know, I am so glad that I put a pool in this castle. Normally, I just don't bother with it. But the fact that we have a pool, like an underground pool, I feel like is so cool because it's like a really easy way for your Sims to get fun and also like for the youngsters to exercise, I suppose. I mean, I have the monkey bars upstairs, but I feel like only 2 Sims can be on it at a time or something. So when we have things like training days, like this is really good. Helps them with their fitness and such, but they also, you know, have fun and whatnot, and that's just easiest way I feel like to get their fun up. So there we go, just swimming laps around Sophia. Well, that's great. Okay, I feel like we should, I don't think we have any particular whims kind of in for them, so I kind of want to see if there's any relationship whims we can settle into. Complain about parents? Elaine, why are you complaining about parents to your sister? I don't know. How is her relationship with her parents? She's got a good relationship with both Peyton and Siri. Sorry, Siri, what am I talking about? Galaxy and Peyton. So I don't know why she would do that. Huh. It's okay. She wants to become friends with Eden. Who doesn't? Eden is such a nice princess. Obviously, you'd want to. Guinevere wants to become friends with Lagatha. I feel like this is mainly Guinevere trying to... It's like, you know when lions hunt, they try and separate the weakling from the rest of the herd, and then they take them down, and the confusion that follows? I feel like this is Guinevere's strategy. I feel like she's trying to befriend Lagatha so that she can separate Meredith from Lagatha, and she can take Meredith down one-on-one personally. Like it gives her the chance to weaken Meredith if she, you know, kind of makes up with Lagatha and then has Lagatha put a guard down. So I feel like that's probably what she's aiming to do here, and I am all for it. Now Eden wants to become friends with Meredith. Look at that. And that's solely because Eden is just a sweetheart. She's adventurous, she's nice, she likes befriending new people, learning new things, different perspectives, and I feel like having a lot of acquaintances and friends gives her that perspective, so she's happy with that. Now, how is her relationship with Guinevere? So if you look at Guinevere and Eden's relationship, it's kind of at that halfway mark, whereas if you look at Lagatha and Meredith, it's like completely full. And if you look at Catherine and Elaine, I mean, they've got more relationship than the princesses, and they are younger. So that's kind of fascinating, and I wonder... they've already had, like, a fight before. So I'm curious to see if their relationship's going to go down from here, or it's gonna improve. Okay, Meredith wants to be friendly with Eden, sorry. She's already friends with Eden. Eden is the nice princess. She's aware of that. She knows that. So obviously she wants to be nice to the heiress in turn. And I feel like, you know what, some of you were saying, right? Some of you were saying that you want Guinevere to become queen because she's evil and evil queens are fun. And that is true. I, for one, don't really care who becomes queen, but I love the fact that we don't know. I love that we have more than one princess. That's the only thing that I'm here for. Like, as long as we have more than one princess, I think it's exciting. During Aphrodite's time, I mean, I'm happy with the other Sims that we had during that generation, but I was always a little bit disappointed that we had one princess because I knew for sure that Aphrodite was going to become the next queen. I like not knowing. So, yeah, I'm excited. I don't care who becomes queen. I'm just excited. I think the journey will be very fun either way. But Lagatha... I mean, you can't really chat with Lady Angel. You don't have access to Ghost, unfortunately. Now, Saphira wants to become friends with Princess Eden. She's probably prepping a relationship with Eden, because Eden's gonna age up soon, and, you know, she's supposed to train Eden, so that makes sense. And Sophia is sleeping. Does she have anything? I'm gonna wake her up really quick. Nope. Okay. I'm so sorry for disturbing you. Apologies. Actually, you need to go to the restroom anyways. Let's go to the restroom, and then... You know what? Why don't you eat? Go to the oh, well, yeah. Grab a serving. Hopefully it's not spoiled by the time you eat that, and then you go to bed. So we'll get it to do that. But when is their birthday? Okay, the princesses have some time before it's their birthday. We definitely won't get to it in this episode. It'll be something that we do in the next episode. But like, it's on the horizon. So there is that. There is that. Oh, another thing before I forget. So one of you lovelies in the comments corrected me on something that I said regarding the hairstyles that Meredith and Lagatha had as children. I was calling it dreadlocks because it's the only term that I was familiar with, but you've said that locks is like the more appropriate term and the more respectful term, so I apologize for that, and thank you so much for correcting me in such a nice way. And yeah, I just had to clarify that, so now I know better. There we go. My descriptive skills and my vocabulary has been updated, so the mental dictionary I use will hopefully serve me better in the future. Okay, well, I think we should leave these ladies for now. Is the food still good? Yes, shove that down your throat. Come on, eat it before it gets bad. And then we'll pick up and see how training goes tomorrow, I suppose. It's 5:45 p.m. on Monday. What's Galaxia doing? Okay, she's just trying to bake milk bread as normally as possible, which is really not that normal at all. But the kids are busy doing their homework after coming back from academy. Now, I feel as though we haven't really seen the princesses in their gowns at all while they've been aging up, and that's because their childhood was spent almost entirely during winter, but it's finally spring, so we're able to see them in their lovely dresses. There's Eden right here, and then Guinevere in her much simpler black gown, of course. Kind of sad that they're aging up this quick, but at the same time, it makes sense because we've been having 40-minute episodes, so obviously we get through a lot more time and content than we used to before with, like, you know, 25-minute episodes, 30-minute episodes and such. So, you know, I'm happy. Oh, Galaxia, thank you for that milk bread. 10 days. Well, we appreciate a good 10-day milk bread. Thank you very much. I swear, if all the baked goods last this long, I'm just going to keep baking goods. But that's pretty cool. The kids shall eat from this now, which is really, really good to see. But yeah, everyone, let's eat. I mean, well, whoever's hungry, feel free to eat. Guinevere is definitely going to do that because she apparently is worried more about this than anything else. Has she finished her homework? Yes, she has. So they can do extra credit work. Which, honey, finish your homework. Lagatha, you keep getting distracted. You keep getting distracted again. Meredith is trying her best. Eden, I might just send, like, I might get the princesses to, you know, do extra credit work. And, like, everyone possible. I want to make sure that the education is going well, you know? So, Meredith. Now, makeup homework. Oh, that's right. Because they didn't do their homework, like, on their first day back to the academy as teens. So, that does make a lot of sense. Yeah, once you're done with homework, do makeup homework. And meanwhile, the princess will get the youngsters to do extra credit work if that's what they're up to. Now, something that was crossing my mind in regards to the princesses aging up soon was the fact that, you know, part of why Lagatha and Meredith maybe are just scrambling to find mentors and get some training is probably because once the princesses become teens, everyone's attention is going to be on them, and they're going to be first priority for, like, any training that happens. So Lagatha and Meredith, you know, they're going to be left behind again. So they have like this very short window of time when the princesses are still children and they are teens to get a head start. Otherwise, they're kind of going to be left in the dust, and that probably won't be too good. Okay, Eden, let's go grab a serving of that, of some milk bread, and then you do extra credit work. Same thing for Princess Guinevere. Let's grab some milk bread, extra credit work, and pretty much all the children. Let's all of us go do this. You already ate, so you can actually do extra credit work, Elaine. She's up here playing, which, I mean, good for her. But let's try and get some of that done. There we go. So I did put like this monkey bar up here, and the kids do from time to time use it of their own accord, but you know, during like training days and such, we can't have everyone here. I think only 2 kids can go on the monkey bar at once. So it's just easier to throw them all into the pool and have them swim, swim, swim like little fishies. So, you know, that's quite fun. Okay, all the kitties, I mean, like that, you could just take the chair, honey. You could just... Someone left their homework book on the floor. Who was it? I'm watching you. Who was it? Meredith? Okay, she's with Eden. Okay, for a second I was concerned. But she's doing homework in the princess's quarters with Eden, and Eden's doing her extra credit work there, which is quite nice. That's actually sweet. I mean, she wanted to become friends with Eden anyway, so this is kind of fun. Eden, you're here. I know that. Guinevere, you are going to do extra credit work soon. Catherine's down here. Elaine? Who threw their book on the floor? Maybe one of the kids just... Oh, well, both of them are here. Maybe one of the kids, like, lost their books beforehand, and I just purchased more. Probably. In all honesty. Probably. And that's fine. Okay, so the teens are done with their makeup work. So right now, they definitely cannot go and, like, do the dark meditation, but that's fine. Lagatha, we're gonna see if she can track down Sphera. Now, interesting thing, even though Galaxia did Lagatha's very first training, she's actually being trained by Saphira primarily. So Saphira is the one who's helping her to hone her skills, even though Saphira rejected both of them the first time around. Lagatha has just been very persistent, but you know, Saphira, she's a mixed bag. So far, she's said yes all the times that Saphira has asked her, but she might not be in the mood for it just now. Well, if that's the case, maybe Lagatha is gonna try asking the queen, even though her sister normally goes to the queen, because her sister probably has been speaking like really good things about the queen, and maybe Lagatha's a little bit curious. So she's gonna ask the queen for some training. So let's go do that. Let's ask the queen for some training. And the queen, you know, she's nice. She always says yes. She's never rejected them, like not even once. So I think that's very, very kind of her. Okay, there we go. We're doing this. And I think in that case, Meredith, Guinevere is here. Guinevere is being kind to her, weirdly enough. But that's probably because we have, you know, other people in presence. And the priestess supervising. But I think Meredith is going to ask the priestess... Actually, you know what? She's going to try a hand at Saphira. She knows that the champion's been training his sister. And I feel like... maybe... Oh, look! Lagatha's a minor vampire. How nice. But I think she knows, and maybe she wants that same treatment. I feel like Meredith, like, this kind of, like, this difference in who trains them, it may create some sort of insecurity. Like, she might be wondering why the champion refuses to take her as a student but takes his sister as a student. Like maybe there's something lacking in her. So she's gonna try and have Saphira train her. And it seems as though I'm just making up names now. I feel as though, yep, she doesn't want to. She's not in the mood for it. In that case, Meredith is aware that her sister went to Aphrodite. And I think, you know what, she probably feels upset by this. That, yeah, look at her face. She probably feels upset by this, that the queen is willing to take on her sister, and yet her sister's mentor doesn't want to take her on. She's gonna ask her other aunt. Oh, nope. She's, you know what, right now, she's, like, not in a good emotional state, so I don't think she can train anyways. Which is very awkward. And who is she feeling that towards, I wonder? Is it Guinevere? Apparently not. Is Sophia in the area? Like, Sophia's not even here. Where is she? She's, like, all the way there. So, who knows? It just might be, okay, are you in a better mood now? Do you want to ask Galaxia for some training? You need to keep yourself under control, honey, because if you don't, you're gonna fall behind very quickly. So come on, let's get some training from Galaxia. See, Galaxia is kind. I mean, this is not her forte, but I feel like, you know, when the children seek her out, she's willing to help them. It is not her primary role, but I don't think she minds. She'll you know, show you a few tricks here and there if need be. So I think that's very nice of her. She balances out her sister, Saphira, quite a bit. Okay, well, Guinevere is being her happy evil self. Probably seeing Meredith all uncomfortable makes her happy. That's probably it. Okay, you can do some meditation now. Since training does kind of sap a little bit of your energy. So go get her to do that. And then Meredith, now that she's wrapped up her training, should do some dark meditation as well. So hopefully that calms you down a little bit as well, honey. There we go. There we go. So that's really good. Now let's assign the PowerPoints. So obviously we need to do the Occult Master. And then we've got 1 point. We probably have to wait before we're able to assign anything else. Now for weaknesses. I think just the withered stomach is the common thing the vampires typically get. So we'll do that for both sisters, the withered stomach. There we go. We do not want anything to do with, like, being susceptible to the sun, because that, like, spells nothing but an early death, and we do not want that in any way, shape, or form. Thank you very much. So there we go. They're both minor vampires. I wonder if Saphira and Sage will be more tolerant of them. I mean, they're growing in power, and that's really good. I feel like power is going to get them status. So that's awesome. And then, when do we actually have the... I mean, the Royal Tournament is a long time away, but if they can, like, get powerful enough to win a title in the Royal Tournament, that's going to get them a lot of respect. Well, you don't really get a title per se, but you... Do you get awarded by the Queen? I don't remember exactly. Regardless, like, for example, if they manage to beat the others at the Royal Tournament, that would definitely help with their standing. They would be respected as strong vampires. That is the one true way, I suppose, you could prove yourself. So they need to somehow be working towards that in some capacity. And what are the princesses afraid of? I don't know. They've got something under their bed. Are there monsters crawling there? Probably. Probably. Well, princesses, you should get a good night's sleep, because tomorrow you are not going to be children any longer. You'll be teenagers who will, you know, be starting your training and all that kind of stuff. So, okay guys, with that said and done, I'm going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.